everybody. I'm just making breakfast. It's almost ready. I'm having some of my favorites today. French toast with fresh maple syrup, some nice crispy bacon, and a hot cup of coffee. Oh boy, it's gonna be so good. What do you guys like having for breakfast? Eggs? Pancakes? Cereal? Yeah, I have some cereal here too. There are lots of things to have for breakfast. Like we could have fish. Fish for breakfast? Have you ever had that? Me either. Sounds kind of strange, doesn't it? But you know, in Jesus' day, it was very common to eat fish at any time of the day, whatever meal. And our Bible story today tells us about Jesus having breakfast on the beach with some of his disciples. Wow, well that sounds like kind of a neat thing, right? Let me tell you how it all came to be. You see, some of the disciples were in a boat fishing, and Jesus came along and was standing up on the shore, and I think the disciples were kind of sad because they weren't catching any fish. And that's no fun if you go fishing but you don't catch anything. And Jesus called out to them and he said, "Put your nets on the other side of the boat." So that's exactly what they did, and they caught over 150 fish. Whoa, that is a big catch, right? Absolutely. The other thing is when they heard Jesus' voice, that's when they knew it was really him. And one of the disciples, Peter, jumped out of the boat into the water and swam to shore as fast as he could because he was so anxious to see Jesus. Now, once they all came to shore and they had all their fish, Jesus started cooking the fish up for them. Breakfast on the beach with Jesus. Very cool. Now, as the story goes on, Jesus had quite a conversation with Peter. Now, we need to remind ourselves of the part that Peter played in the Easter story. Do you remember what it was? That's right. Jesus denied Peter. Just before Good Friday, when the guards were coming to arrest Jesus, Peter was with him and they said, "Do you know that man? Do you know Jesus?" And Peter was like, No, I don't know him. I think Peter was scared. Anyway, the guards asked him a second time, "Do you know that man?" And Peter said, "No, I don't know him." Well, the guards asked Peter a third time, "Do you know that man Jesus, who calls himself the Messiah? Do you know him?" And Peter, for the third time, said, "Nope, I don't know him, never seen him before in my life." That was pretty tough on Jesus, right? It's not nice to deny your friends, even when they get into a difficult situation and you're afraid you might get into trouble. Anyway, let's go back to our breakfast on the beach with Jesus and Jesus' conversation with Peter. Jesus asked Peter something 3 times. This time, though, it was, "Will you look after my flock? And do you love me?" And Peter was like, "Of course I love you, Jesus." And Jesus kept repeating, "Do you love me? And will you look after my flock?" Now, you know, Jesus always talked in riddles and parables, and I don't think he really meant, would Peter look after the sheep in the field? I think by the flock, Jesus meant us, the people around. He was asking Peter if he would help look after the followers that Jesus had amassed while he had been doing his preaching and teaching. And he was asking Peter, will you show them the way to God? Will you show them how special God is? Well, I think this story has 2 main takeaways for us. The first one is, obviously, even though Peter had denied knowing Jesus, here was Jesus talking to Peter and giving him a job to do. He was forgiving Peter. And I think the message for us is that nothing we do can separate us from the love of God. God will always be coming, looking for us, trying to bring us back to a holy life with him. That's a pretty amazing gift, isn't it? And the other thing is, not just was Jesus asking Peter to look after the people, but he's asking us to do the same thing. He's asking us to be disciples. He's saying, can you with all the people that you meet in your life? Can you tell them about me? Can you tell them how special God is? Wow, that's a pretty important job, right? But I know you guys are up to it. You can start having conversations at Sunday school, and then with your family, and maybe with your friends or classmates. Before you know it, it'll be really easy to talk about Jesus and your relationship with him and how important God our Father is to all of us. All right, that's your job for this week. Get started. Take care, everybody. See you soon. Bye-bye.